We are not enemies. Baby.
See, you don't make radio. See, if we talk radio, I'll put fans for inside.
You know, we have Ghana's highest goal scorer in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, Asamoah Gyan is here.
What kind of introduction is that?
Hold on. I played a song and I said, thankfully, we are not enemies.
No, you said Ghana's highest goal.
No, you came with the accolades.
Africa's all-time.
Hold
Don't do that.
Hold on. Daniel Koranteng said he doesn't want me to say anything. I should leave all the accolades to him.
Okay. Leave it to me.
So I have to revert to him.
Leave it to me. First one.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen. For the right introduction. For the right introduction of our special guest this afternoon. I now defer to the one and only, the one and only, the slimmest shady, the bad man.
Ghana's highest goal scorer. Africa's the first good person to score a goal for Ghana in the World Cup. The only person in the history of football who, when it's the dying minutes, when my team is down, I can turn my head and say, baby will score. And true, baby will score. USA's greatest nemesis. The greatest goal scorer in the history of the game. The one who, when he turns like this and his finesse shot, you can tell your head,
Baby, how did you find that?
Quite interesting. Right?
They say you'd be quite interested.
Baby, my guy.
Yeah. I know. To be fair, for those of you who just tuned in and might not understand what was going on, Daniel Koranteng idolizes Asamoah Gyan. It's not even like in this building.
I know, right?
Yeah, in this. Sorry.
What you messy?
Okahon.
Sitso. Me and Sitso with the same.
Asamoah, how have you?
I'm good.
You've been very busy. You've been very, very busy.
I'm not sleeping these days.
I can tell. You've been everywhere.
Everywhere.
But it's good that you could find time to be with us.
All because of Ghana.
Yes, all because of Ghana.
Yeah.
You see, I will not be doing justice to this if I don't introduce another legend. Even though he's not on air, we have to acknowledge that he's present. Okay? Before Asamoah Gyan, there was another Gyan turning out and representing this country. This family has done their bit for Ghana.
He made a Gyan name and I took it to the next level.
That's right. Back for Gyan is in the building as well. Give it up for him. You know,
5 seconds.
Yes.
5 seconds.
Yes, go on.
The first time I saw Bafo Gyan play,
yes.
in fact, the lineups were appeared on the TV,
yes.
and I saw Bafo Gyan number 3.
Yes.
But the guy was high up the pitch. I said, me to a small boy.
Yes.
I said, but this left back, no, what's he doing over there?
The number 3, no.
Charlie, I don't see so before.
And baby made you understand.
Charlie.
You know, in the build up to I think the qualifiers to the 2006 World Cup, Bafo played some of the qualifiers. In fact, he started a chunk of them. I remember seeing a visual on Metro TV back then. In the montage, in one of it, Baby Jet was working with Bafo Gyan, and Asamoah Gyan was carrying Bafo Gyan's bag, and he was following him.
Yes.
And that visual has never left my head. It tells you everything you need to know about them. There is senior and there's senior. Bafo has done his bit.
I recall Ghana Cape Verde when we went there and beat them 4-0.
Yes.
Yeah. Bafo Gyan.
It was in there.
Quite crucial,
Anyway, so welcome to the built-in Bafo, even though you will not be speaking.
He says he won't speak.
Yes, he said he won't speak. He
said this job won't forget to
we also have Chief Franklin, who is the project coordinator for
Top guy.
Yeah, he's a top man. Chief.
Top guy.
All correct.
Thank you, sir.
Wherever there's a chief, you go down.
Of course, you have to.
See, second you fast finish.
Okay, guys. get straight to it. Then, if we have Asamoah Gyan and Chief Franklin here today, it's because on Tuesday they launched the All African Games, all regional games. I beg your pardon, all regional games.
ARG.
AIG. ARG. Who said AIG?
You. You're talking to everybody else.
The fact no. Hold on. The bottom line is that there is an A and there's a G there.
The R is important.
It's very important.
We are going across all regions.
There's all and there's games.
That's true. So we are talking about the All Regional Games, an initiative from Asamoah Gyan and his team, which is bringing all the regions together in the competition of multi-sporting event. And now the registration is ongoing and everything. But I don't want to be the one to tell you all about it. I saw the launch. Lawrence was there. I saw the visuals from it. It was very well attended. And it's only the beginning, but clearly it does tell you what the future looks like for this event and the interest that people have taken in it. So, Asamoah, let me begin with you. At what point did you start to think that, even though I'm a football legend, let me do something that inculcates and incorporates all the other sporting disciplines other than just... I see John is smiling because he understands inculcates. There's some people yesterday say they don't understand the meaning of inculcate. But at what point did you start to think about this initiative?
About 10 years ago.
10 years?
I was doing certain things when I was playing, but people couldn't understand. For example, being a boxing promoter, people didn't understand where I was coming from. I was looking beyond football. I was looking beyond sports. I just wanted to build a sports fraternity.
Yeah.
People will say, "Oh, why didn't you build an academy or support football players, but boxing?" I just want to help everybody in the sports fraternity as much as I can. So me coming up with this idea was like 10 years ago. But the implementation was a bit of a challenge. So lo and behold, this year, Franklin and his team, everybody came on board. We had to just sit down. We planning this for like 7 months.
Wow.
It's been like 7 months, going back and forth, sleepless nights, how to implement and everything. Create the database to support a project. Everything is intact. We used like 7 months to do it. And here we are now with the All Regional Games. Ghanaians are ready to benefit.
Interesting. That's amazing. Franklin, before I bring Jan back in, I really want you, for anyone that's probably hearing about this for the first time, and I always say that there's always an opportunity to provide new information to new people. You can't always assume that everybody knows exactly what's going on. The All Regional Games, just give us a summary of it. What is it about and why is it important?
Okay, thank you. The All Regional Games, as Baby just mentioned, has been his vision for the last 10 years. Okay. The whole idea is to actually develop or identify new talent. That is the main vision of the whole thing. Okay. And then we've selected, for the time being, about 9 sports disciplines, which is football, athletics, boxing, arm wrestling, the both tennises, which is the long tennis and the table tennis, and then the para games now, esports, volleyball, and I think the last one is
swimming park.
Sorry?
Swimming?
No, swimming is not this year. So it's basketball. That's the last one. So for this year, we're only focusing on these 9 areas of the sports fraternity. Now, the idea is next year we'll open up. Okay, but this year, because it's a pilot, it's a maiden edition, we want to minimize or take on areas that we can actually afford to minimize for the program to be successful. Yeah. So the idea is, most people think that before you can get into, let's say, let me take football. Before you can get into the national team, you have to be in Accra, you have to be in Kumasi, which is true. But then this time around, you have somebody that lives in Oti, that lives at Savannah, that lives at Tripoli. That is not yet to be discovered. So we're moving around all the 16 regions, and then out of these 9 disciplines, each child has the opportunity to actually demonstrate their key talent. Okay, you also have regional coaches that are coming on board, and we're also moving some few coaches from Accra. And then one of his vision also is not only discovering new talent, retired football players, retired coaches who are basically sitting at home, they're losing all the experiences that they have. He's bringing everybody on board. Okay. So from region to region to region, every region have to represent their best athlete for each discipline to come and compete at a national festival in Accra on November 4th.
Okay. This year.
This year.
All right.
Okay. So currently what we're doing now is we're moving from region to region. We're doing a regional tour.
Okay.
Okay. To identify what kind of sport facilities are within the region, so that at least we know how to go about things. Those that we need to import, those that we need to existingly have that we have to build upon. So we're moving all the 16 regions as part of promoting the all regional games, encouraging the youth that whatever talent that you have, being boxing, being arm wrestling, participate, take part. Be proud of the region that you're going to represent.
Yeah.
Okay. And the beauty of it is you might have a team from Savannah region that will beat Ashanti region for the first time.
Of course.
It's possible.
Yeah, of course.
You can have a team from Oti that will come and beat Greater Accra.
I'm supporting
You're supporting who?
Ashanti.
Not B.
For me, I'm supporting Oti. Okay, I want to see Oti.
Me have a bottle from Vota Jimmy.
That is where will you support? My region or Eastern region?
Daniel.
Oh, I'm partial. I'm supporting Oti. I want to see Oti team coming to Accra, beat Greater Accra, and then beat Ashanti.
You see, Baby J, you asked a very important question. Which region will he be supporting? He said, this is the first time all the people here know that it's for Eastern region.
We don't know.
We don't know.
From my colleagues. I quit.
Hey. Behave.
Oh my God.
Sitso, did you know?
I had no idea, bro.
Muftawu, did you know?
No idea, bro.
Nobody knows where it's from.
This is where we will discover everybody's
Yes.
where everybody comes from.
Yes.
Because as the interview progresses,
Chief.
we will create an account for each region.
Yes.
So maybe you're from the Eastern region.
Register.
If you want to donate to your region for them
Okay.
to build up their team, you can donate to them.
Okay. That's interesting. So hold on. So the idea is get all 16 regions together at one place to compete in a multi-sport event over how many days?
It's going for. We start from the 4th of November to the end of November.
4th of November to the end of November.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. See the way I summarized that thing? He said fantastic. Yeah. Now,
Why they hype your body?
I don't even understand.
relax. Now, how will the regional teams be formed?
Okay. So let's take football for instance. If you look at the registration, we're having a lot of registrations on football.
Okay.
So the football concept is going to be justify your inclusion. Okay. So as the registrations are coming in, we're putting them in blocks. Let's say the first one up to 50. Okay, from 50 to 100, 100 to 150. Then we set days that the justify your inclusion will play. Then you have the local coaches, and you have our coaches from Accra that will sit, and they are beginning to scout the talent as the activity is actually ongoing.
Okay.
So in the football, you have Coach Sapon, who is a very renowned coach on board, that's going to be leading the charge as far as football is concerned.
Okay.
And then basically after the talent are being scouted, they'll become the best or the final 23 to represent, let's say, Northern region or Savannah region or Oti region.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the athletes, we have Kora also leading the charge in terms of athletics. So Emmanuel Tufo, popularly known as Kora. So basically, you also have, and for athletics, it's pretty much straightforward because it's just speed, recording speed, and whether you meet the timeline or not.
Yes.
And then you have also the representation. So it's the same thing across all the other sports disciplines. Okay, then they prepare and then come to national to come and compete against region per region.
Okay, that's interesting. And baby, you mentioned the issue of donating, and I think it feeds into what Franklin just said, preparing. So when they have the teams ready and they're preparing, that's where people need to come on board and support the regions.
Yes, we creating it's like a GoFundMe account.
Yes,
for all the 16 regions. You know, for them to be able to prepare well.
Yes.
For the
actual
the festival.
Yes.
You know, so it's something we're doing to help the society. We're giving back, but also to make sure to make them believe they have hope. Because when you are there and there's no motivation, you can't do anything. As for example, I've seen a lot of people who brag and say, maybe old school me Johnny rough.
That's right.
And then they end
But
up,
there's no evidence.
Maybe this one I don't brag, but old school I'm your finisher.
thank you.
Oh, you know my nickname. People Inzaghi. And when later they change them to Moro Icardi. Goals. But
Maybe mention my name.
So Ashanti will say anyone.
Yes.
So
You this.
So it's something we planning to do, you know, to keep people on their toes, people to discover their talent, and that is why we are here.
Discovering talent. So will there be an age limit to the people who can participate?
Yes, but let me backtrack a little bit. Okay. One of the reasons we're doing the regional tour is also to form the regional committee.
Of course.
Okay, the regional committee will be responsible for the administration and the well-being of the team getting ready for the National Sports Festival. And then for every funding that we currently have, and then for now is baby's own resources and then some few collaborations from outside. That is where the funding is coming from. Okay.
Wow,
so
that's huge.
Yes,
Maybe you are funding this from your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, he's been thinking about this for 10 years, so he's been able to tuck away a bit of money through his friends and then some few collaborations outside to actually begin this process. Now, for the money that we currently have, what we're planning to do is to have a 16 separate account, each account representing a particular region.
Right.
Okay. So that according to proportion, and we'll get more information when we finish the tour, because obviously talking about people that will apply more in Ashanti region is a bit more than Savannah or more than Oti. Yeah. So that is how the segregation is going to go. And then what will happen is those funding is basically the region committee is responsible for bringing their budget to actually run the event. Okay. And then we also have the national committee. So whatever the region decides will feed into the national committee. Approval is given, and then basically the fund is actually released, actually developed. Another thing we're also doing is we also want to create an employment. So, for instance, if people have capacity in Ashanti or any of the regions to build things like jerseys, to sew like jerseys, we want to promote local enterprise or local business.
That's amazing.
So, a sample of the jersey, bring it, we'll endorse it, and that becomes the jersey that you use. Amazing. We want to minimize importation of jerseys into the country, but rather build local businesses. Yeah. That's another thing. But we're limiting it to you have to be a resident in Ashanti region to basically tender for it. We're not moving somebody from Accra to go and so, unless of course we cannot identify an institution or agents that can actually have the capability of building those jerseys, then obviously we have to then import. Yeah. So these are some of the things that we're putting in place, and it is not on I know this person, I know that person. The portal is open. If you want to be an event organizer or event planner for any of the regions, go to the portal, go and register, submit your tender document, and basically we have an engagement with you. Then you can actually facilitate the region based on whether it's an event, decoration, is about printing, and it's about jerseys or tracksuit bottoms. So that is what we've also put in place. So that's one of the reasons why we also are moving around. During the tour. And a step further also, one of the things is recognized is most of the time people get injured. Okay, and when they do get injured, like events like this, it will fall back on the parent. Yeah. So one of the things he came up with was, listen, I want to have an insurance company, okay, that will come on board, and then basically anyone who get injured during trials or the main festival, the insurance company should be able to take care of it. That's another thing that we've actually put in place as well. Then the final thing also is our exit strategy. Yeah. We have 3 main exit strategy as far as this game is concerned. He's inviting a lot of international clubs or foreign clubs to come for scouting at the National Sports Festival. Okay. So some of these cases will be very fortunate that they might get discovered or be taken by these international or foreign clubs. Yes. The other part of it also, like the local football, like the calls and then the clubs, might also discover a talent for somebody who lives at Tripoli. Yes. Which would have taken a longer time for that person to be discovered. Sure. So we're hoping that at the end of the National Sports Festival, some of these kids will play for some of these clubs. Okay. And then most important of all, because it's going to be witnessed by the entire country, in a situation whereby maybe we need a player or a striker, the next Asamoah Gyan, of course there can be only one Asamoah Gyan, but in the likes of an Asamoah Gyan from Tripoli, people in the country will say, oh, but this guy that played in All Regional Games Festival was very good in defending, was very good in striking. Why don't we call this person into maybe under 23, under 20, or even the national team? So those are some of the things that we're hoping to achieve at the end of the festival. The final part is what Balfour is working on now, which he would have actually taken the seat to actually explain it. He's got some education foundation program that he's running.
Okay.
That some of the kids who will neither be discovered by the international clubs or the local clubs, but they still want to pursue education, scholarship and other bits and pieces can also be given to that child to continue education. So these are our main exit strategies that we're putting in place.
Those are all very amazing indeed. And I like that idea. I can see the vision behind it and what it could grow up to be. There used to be a point where we had the National Sports Festival. I think the president said at the closing ceremony of the African Games that he hopes that the new resources that they have built could be used to revive the National Sports Festival. And all the original games is another form of a National Sports Festival.
That's it.
I absolutely love that idea.
That's it.
Speaking of which, you mentioned the fact that people can register. What is the portal?
Okay. The portal is www.allregionalgames.com.
Okay. It's really that simple.
Yes, allregionalgames.com. Click on register. It's just a few bio data that you take in. You upload your ID or Ghana card or passport, and then basically you state the region that you are a resident in. And let me emphasize on that. We want to discover talent within the region. So
not
you cannot live.
Accra people like
you
Ghana
cannot live in Accra. You cannot live in Accra and travel to Oti and go and no. You have to be a resident of that region.
I get it.
I'm relocating to Peje.
But honestly,
yes,
there are a lot of, I would say, even artists,
yes,
who have just called me to show their interest.
Oh, lovely.
You know, I just like 30 minutes ago I spoke to Shatta Wale. He called me and Stoneboy. I spoke to Stoneboy like 2 months ago.
Obviously,
he told me anytime I come to Ghana, I'll come to the office. We sit down. If you could remember one of my posts, I just posted.
Yeah.
He came to the office. We spoke about it. He's really happy to be part of it.
When
the Shea is on board.
wow.
You know, so just this afternoon, Shatta Wale called me and was like, "Hey, Charlie, this thing is big. Ooh.
It is big.
We have to make this thing happen."
Because the festival, baby, and I'm glad you mentioned that. That's why it's a festival. Yeah. So it's not just a sports.
Thank you.
So there will be a music element,
Yes.
concert every day.
I had like 2 hours meeting with Stoneboy.
That's amazing.
We spoke about it. He also brought his ideas.
Big brains,
So it's something for Ghana. Everybody should get involved.
Yeah.
And that is what we are looking at. We want All Regional Game should be an institute
That's right.
in the country.
It's something that people look forward to
Thank
every
you.
year.
Every year.
You know,
Every year.
And Fentuo, the one area that I'm actually quite excited about is the fact that the educational angle.
Yes.
Where when you come in and you do not have the talent to progress, then there's an opportunity given to you by Gyan for you to be able to further your education, and that's a massive thing to do.
I've just opened the website. It's very friendly though.
Yeah.
It's very simple, user friendly.
Sitso is an IT person. That's why he's already checking out the website. You know, but you mentioned it, and that is even the entire idea behind the Olympic Charter. That participation in itself is winning.
Yeah.
So it's not just about coming and then winning the title. It's about participation.
Yeah.
Participation in itself it's crucial. So at the end of it, Baby Jet, he mentioned the exit strategy and all of that. But once you're able to bring this together, at the end of it, what would be your biggest takeaway? What are you looking to achieve? Because you've already achieved a lot. And this thing seems like it's been in your heart for 10 years.
Yeah.
So when you finally bring it into fruition, what's your vision for it going into the future?
I want to see Ghana up there when we go to Olympic Games, winning more medals and stuff. And one interesting thing I brought on table was, for example, a team from Volta region comes, and then I would say the volleyball team wins gold.
That would be amazing.
We have decided any discipline that wins gold for example, volleyball team from Volta, they come to Accra, they win volley. We've decided to go there, build a volleyball court for them. Name them after that court.
That is the
in
juice.
That's the
juice.
So it's something that we've been planning to do.
That is the juice. Wow. And I saw, and
wow.
Yeah, and
I saw the wine in Drew very soon.
The juice. Bro, he's been hiding the juice for too long.
There'll be wine in Drew very soon.
So wait, my friend, keep quiet. Keep quiet over. So baby, does that mean that if the people from Upper West come here and they come and win gold, let's say overall the track and field, they win the overall best in track and field.
Yes.
You go and build that
that one we don't have the money right now.
Yeah. We don't listen. We don't have the money. That is where the corporate organization have to get involved. That is where people should get involved.
Yes.
This is for Ghana.
Yes.
So if you want to build something at the Volta region or
Upper West
region,
we are mentioning Drew.
And we come to you. And we bring a proposal. You say no, which means you don't want the sports.
What's the point?
Just to add to what we said. You see, this is. You remember after the Africa Games, we covered it. We went out on the ground. We saw that people are interested in some of these lesser known sports. Yeah. So this is a very good opportunity for us to see where the raw talent is coming from.
Yes.
So if somebody in Sunyani wins, let's say volleyball, let's use volleyball again as an example, and they don't have any court over there, this is an opportunity to tell not just the corporate side of things, but government that we have seen that the region of BA has a huge it's a budding zone for volleyball. So now you have to. It's not like you are doing it and hoping that talent will come out.
That's right.
Now you know that there's talent there,
right.
but now you need to go out there and help them develop it in terms of infrastructure. This is a very, very good initiative.
Imagine not having it in the first place and you come and win. You don't have it, but you come to win.
The multi-purpose facilities that the governments were building. Yeah. I mean, through this, even pressure can be put on the sector ministry to finish them. Yes. Because when they do, and then all regional games are ongoing, these facilities can easily, because they have multi-purpose court, volleyball courts, they have everything. They've got tracks for athletics. So these facilities can easily, if these things are functional, maybe
but
that's
the thing. The all regional games, for example, I am dead certain 100% that the indoor sports will be held at Botema.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
That's right.
For the festival.
Yeah, for the festival. For the festival itself. Yeah. Listen, this is an amazing project. What I will say about it is that it's actually long overdue.
Yeah.
That as a country, I was very, very disappointed when the National Sports Festival became what it became, and it's probably a good thing that they took it off because it became very mundane. In other words, it felt like a chore, where it was defeating the entire purpose of the event. The entire purpose was to bring regions together, develop new talent, and see how it can serve the nation. It became something more or less like, Charlie, there's with the National Sports Festival, let's do it and go away. That's not the purpose. This is the purpose of such event. It's very intentional. You can see that they've thought through it, and you can tell that there is a long-term vision for it. And for me, that's what I'm very happy about. The second thing I'm really glad about is the fact that this is being championed by an ex-sportsman who knows exactly what it means to be discovered at an early age. It's significant. Sometimes, even for track and field, I keep telling people in Ghana, we have a big problem where we think, you notice that in Ghana, the level at which we start to compete and really start to take notice of the talent, especially for track and field, even for football, is at secondary school level. But if a track and field athlete is not discovered before the age of 12, forget it. Because from the age of 12, and you see, when they're in secondary school, they are 16, they are 15. By that time, it's probably a little too late. So most of these serious countries, they actually start way earlier. And the original games is one competition that does not limit, especially when it comes to how young you are. So a 12-year-old could come and play among the volleyball team of Volta region, and he can excel. And that's a talent being discovered at an early age. So listen, I think from us here at the multimedia group, Joy Sports, we will offer all the support that you need. You know, it is a great initiative. We don't have anything like this on the calendar for sure. And this is filling a void.
Thank you.
And in business, in marketing, they tell you establish a niche, you establish a gap, and then you fill the gap. There is a gap here that is being filled. So that is it's a great initiative, we will support it. We will push out all the information that is necessary. And when the actual event itself comes, I mean, the build-up itself is it's a program on its own.
That's right.
And then when the actual event itself happens, I don't think there is any other media house there with more ability than us to deliver a multi-sport event.
Like I was demonstrated on there.
And like the African Games.
And next week we start our regional tour.
Amazing.
We go to all the city OT.
OT, that's fantastic.
So we start.
Chief Chief
you beat on this one.
I've got a lot of love for the OT
region. So we go into all the 16 regions, to create awareness there, go do promotion. Initially, we wanted to send letters, and I was like, no, let the people feel your presence there. Right. So that is what we doing from next week. 16 regions there. Hey.
Don't worry, maybe you survive.
Amen.
You survive because the politicians do that. Well, they don't just go to the regions; they even enter villages. So don't worry.
So when you go to Northeast, ask for do go there. That's my village.
Okay.
He has mentioned do like 5,000 times.
Yeah, so it's all part of the Northern region, So we that is what we're planning to do. Next week we going. I even have a lot of traveling to go like outside Ghana, but I just have to cancel it and then make sure I focus on the original games, for Ghana.
Speaking of which, how much have you traveled outside of, let's say, Accra, Kumasi? Where else do you know? I mean, I know BA. You've been there, obviously, because you're from there.
Football took me everywhere.
It did. Has it taken you to Tumu before?
Where?
I've been to Tumu. I've been to Tumu.
I've been to
Tumu.
Baby, don't join those people.
Sorry.
Don't join those people. Don't add an.
No, I didn't hear what you said. You were trying to say something.
No, don't. You are adding an imaginary.
Ashanti language. The language is the
Baby, I know what you mean. I'm saying you are adding an imaginary letter, and I get that all the time. Every time I tell people,
which one they are.
I tell people I'm from Tumu. And the people say, I'm seeing something else. I say, boss, you are not seeing anything.
Your ear is hearing one thing, your brain is processing another.
Their brain is telling them there should be R somewhere. There's no R. I beg you. There's no R.
So it's Tumu.
Tumu? Yes.
Not R1.
Baby, don't join them. There's no R. As for the R1 right now, it's very dangerous times for you. But there's a law. Anybody can, now problem there somewhere. Anyway, before I let you go, baby, we had something prepared for you. I know you don't have a lot of time to stay throughout the show because if you could stay out through the show, if you could stay throughout the entire show, it would have been really nice. Your friend Christopher Nimley says I should say, and he said, please better read this message with care and proper voiceover. And the message says, please acknowledge that Accra Academy is in the studio. And he said, I love him and God bless the baby jet. That is from Coach Christopher Nimley. And I'm sure some of you know him, right?
Yes.
Coach Nimley.
Yes.
Accra.
Yes.
Did you go to meet him or he came? What?
I think I left.
Are you sure you are senior to Nimley? You probably
No.
He's an old man.
No, he had left. No, I didn't meet him.
He's an old man.
Hey, for the way.
Yeah. But also, let me just say this before if you have any question around the original games that you want to ask, send us a message. The number is 055 1111997 055 1111997. I'll keep him here for another 10 minutes or so. So do send us a message if you have a question for Baby Jet. We have come up with something, baby, because you've gone through quite a lot in your career. The question we want to ask you today is, how much does Baby Jet know Baby Jet? How much does Asamoah Gyan know Asamoah Gyan?
I know myself as a confident person.
Yeah.
Very, very confident.
Very confident. But how much do you remember? For example, if I ask
Kebab.
you this question, say, you are the 5th highest goal scorer in the history of the UAE Pro League. Did you know that? 5th highest. Did you know?
Wow. I know that.
Okay. And you also have the best goal per minute ratio.
That's one I know.
That one too, you know, right?
Yeah, I know that one.
In
Now-
the UAE.
Yes. Now, if I ask you this question, how many goals have you scored in the UAE Pro League, and how many games? Do you know that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Shoot.
Is it all competitions or?
Yes, everything.
Hey.
Just the Pro League, fine. Just the league.
Pro League, I think I have 99.
That is close. He does know himself. That is close. The right answer is actually 100.
Wow.
100 goals. But can you put a number to the number of games that you scored those 100 goals in?
I think in 99 games.
In 97.
97 games.
Wow.
John remembers. He does remember.
Charlie.
But that is unbelievable.
No, you see, I like people like you see people who know their achievements.
Yes.
I like it. You know another person who knows. Bro! He can thank you. He can tell you everything that he has done. I like people like that.
But when I was doing this research, this is wild though.
Yeah.
100 goals in 97 games. That is that is a goal and 0.2
No, there are only
every.
few players who are able to score more goals than they play. You know those, like
We know them.
when you go to Real Madrid, they are
this is
greatest
your
goal scorer
all-time.
ever.
Ah,
You know
it's
his
mad.
name. When you go to Champions, like those people, like
Yeah.
few. Like
Okay.
one of them, yeah,
That
very
is
few. Yeah.
This is your all-time top goal scorer here, so you don't have to be surprised.
Okay, are you ready for the second one?
Let's go.
The first one, that was good. That was actually good. I'm actually very impressed.
Thank you.
Okay, number 2. How much does Baby Jet know Baby Jet? Now, you've played in 19 league seasons in your professional career. Okay. In that period, you've played 331 games.
Wow.
And you've scored 166 goals in that period. Now, the question is, do you know which league season you scored the most goals?
Of course, the UAE.
Yes, but which year? You were there for a few years. So
That was 2014 when I scored 31 goals in the league.
yes, but yes. So the question is,
It was my second season in UAE.
yes.
That was 2012-2013 season.
Perfect. Nah. That is amazing. Yeah. So it was in the 2012-13
yeah.
league season. He scored 31 goals
Yeah.
in 22 games.
I would have scored more. I've got injured
Yes.
because during the first round from October to December, I already scored 21 goals in 2 months. In 3 months, I had already scored 21.
It's poor there.
Wow.
Wow.
You
That's
cheat code.
This
Charlie, what is
distraction.
There is poor there.
Wow. All right. Okay. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I feel like I should have made the questions harder. but to be fair, these are hard questions.
No, these are very hard questions. I
You have
mean,
to
you're
remember.
looking for precise answers. Number of goals, number of games, which year,
That's
this season.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. In the 2010-2011 Premier League season, you scored 1 brace.
Stoke City.
So there's an interesting one here. This one very much I like them to touch on because the one said from Nana Kwesi, he said that Jets, knowing the typical Ghanaian man, they like to take advantage of the initiative to extort funds from victims of the scam. So are you putting measures in place to at least limit such occurrences?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, not from
that's-
you people, but
Yeah,
other people
okay.
taking
Yeah.
advantage.
Frankly, will
Okay.
answer that.
So initially, what we've done is we've built a comprehensive database. Okay, if you need to register, we don't have any offices, we don't have any agents doing any registration. Okay, if you need to register, please go to allregionalgames.com, register.
That's it.
When you are shortlisted, it will be updated on there, and the moment you register, you have your own username and your password.
That's
You
right.
can always go and check status, whether you've been approved, you've been shortlisted. So we have no offices, we have no agents
no
anywhere.
third parties.
just
And-
enter there. allregionalgames.com.
Yes,
website.
that is the only
That's the
source
only
of communication.
Yes.
So that's where you can register. That's where you will know if you've been
Yeah.
selected.
Yes.
And nobody will ask for money
all
from
the
you.
information
Nope.
is coming from there.
Nope.
This one also is from Palby.
And nobody will call you. We will communicate in text message directly to your phone, and then it will state all regional games
Yes.
as a headline.
So don't let someone send you a message from a number and
Yes.
says this is all regional games.
Forget.
Yes.
When the message comes, it will come saved as all
Original
regional games.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank
All
you.
right. What's the other question?
This one says here that, okay, friends, this is a good initiative. It's from Palby. He says that, but how involved is the National Sports Authority and the GFA in this? He actually thinks that before they sabotage you, that's
I
what he
think-
said.
Everybody is involved.
Yeah, I think I saw that you met even the federation heads.
Yes.
Yes, they are all involved.
Yeah.
You saw FA president
Yeah.
Was that the
Yeah,
launch?
at the launch.
Kedu he gave his speech. Everybody has his support.
I saw the Ghana Athletics president too.
Love
Bao
it.
Husseini was
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
he was there.
Okay, so everyone is involved.
Everyone is involved.
This
Everyone.
one says, Fen, kindly let Asamoah Gyan. This is Manome Andy. This is the senior brother of Abel Manome.
Yeah.
He says, kindly let Asamoah Gyan know that the best goal scored that I will remember him for is the goal he scored against England at Wembley. God bless you.
That's my best goal.
And
too.
your
They
brother.
go, let's
Wait,
go
from
to
your own
forget.
perspective, that's your best goal?
Yeah.
That's why you choose.
People chose the goal against America.
Hey!
But
It came at the right time.
No.
The time.
Baby Jet.
would you choose the malaria goal?
Algeria.
Charlie, you are sick.
Don't
You are
choose for them.
vomiting.
Don't find them away.
You are sick. You are vomiting.
Hey.
We need to go. Malaria
They are too good.
Hey, relax the man. Let him choose.
Hey, the malaria
He
goal.
says he prefers the.
It's like music.
Yes.
The artist comes and he feels, oh, this is my best song, but
Yeah.
people don't even relate to it.
Yeah.
My favorite goal
I've actually
of
heard of it.
Asamoah Gyan has to be.
America.
I don't know. I don't know the opposition, but it was in the French league.
Oh yeah, Montpellier.
It was Montpellier. La ilaha illallah.
Yeah,
La ilaha
Montpellier.
illallah. No, you should see the goal.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
knows the goal I'm talking
Montpellier.
about.
We're talking about the national jerseys, the national
But he
color.
just
All
said
goals.
favorite goal.
Favorite goal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll pick that one.
The Montpellier goal, right?
Yeah, Montpellier.
Yeah, that goal was superb.
I'm a true Janite.
Yeah.
True
That goal was
Janite.
superb.
30 yards.
No, I like it.
I'm a true Janite.
I like
Oh,
it.
that goal was
Like 30
superb.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shifted it onto his right.
Right foot, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, it's
That was the last kick of the game.
it was.
the most nerve-wracking goal for any Ghanaian. You can talk about you, the malaria Jan, bro.
fact-
Malaria
In
Jan.
fact, I
Ghana,
saw
Algeria.
the headlines so well.
Malaria
2015.
goal.
Okay, guys, relax with the fanfooling. Hey, relax. You've seen Jan. All of you can't even control yourselves.
How?
But baby, when you are not here, they'll be doing themselves big boys. You are
Eh.
here. Daniel can't talk.
I'm starstruck.
Bro, in this country, if you don't jam the room where you see your body big boy, you know be serious.
You know, monsieur.
No, run down there. I forgive you.
Hey, biggest boy.
Me say the intro. I was fumbling. Prince from Makati Hill says, I really love this initiative, but my great joy is that the all regional games could be could be a point for maintaining the sports facilities, especially at Boteman and Legon.
That's
right.
Sitso made that point because every year there's going to be a sports festival. These facilities will be maintained well, he says. All right. Is there another question? Stanley in Achimota says, please ask Baby Jet if he remembers his goal at Stamford Bridge, where he famously danced with Bolo Zandi. Come on, why wouldn't he remember? Why wouldn't he remember? I remember watching that game. It was crazy. Indeed, where is it? Okay. Are you sure that's for Baby Jet? I don't think so. I don't think that's for Baby Jet. All right, Jam. Let's finish our quiz.
I want to ask him something.
You said what?
I wanted to ask baby something.
You go ahead and ask him.
There's something about Jan and his angles when he's scoring goals. And it's fascinating because for most players, when they cut onto their favorite side, you know, the goal is bigger. They can curl to the far post, go to the near post. But when Jan has the ball at the right side, typical example is the goal he scored against Algeria, the goal he scored against
He
Noya.
doesn't miss from there.
It's from those angles that a lot of strikers struggle to. Egypt in Kumasi. I was in the stance, I was like, baby, who coin? There's something about that angle for Jan. And I wanted to ask,
How did he perfect
how
it?
do you find so much comfort in those zones to find the finish that you do find?
It's something I perfected. Goal scoring is an act. It's something I invented it. You know, sometimes I go on my right and I shoot like the normal shoot, and then I feel like it's not effective. You know, so I just developed that skill that on my right I'll just use my instep foot.
Yeah.
It's like a cross just
Yes.
Francis in front of the goalkeeper. Just that. So it's something I mastered it. So when I get a chance there, 95% I'll score.
98%, John. It's 98.
98%. So
No, it's true.
Against Neuer, he faced it. He couldn't.
Yeah.
so on that angle, I remember the first time. That was when Richard Ofori remained in the team when he was at Wow Stars. You know, after training, I just take the ball there. Shoom. No goalkeeper, but he was the goalkeeper who was always saving it. I was like, oh.
Oh, interesting.
So honestly, I recommended him.
Okay.
Yes, and he became the third goalkeeper coming up, and
all the way to number 1.
Yes.
And then he touched that ball.
He touched that ball. But that's okay.
It's okay.
All regional games. Let's go.
It's okay. Okay. All right. Maybe somebody sent a message that he went to the registration call and they said athlete or coach, but he wants to register as a footballer. You are an athlete.
Okay, so when you come to register, there is a drop down. You have to select either an athlete,
yes,
either a coach, or either even a volunteer. Okay, so the person have to select the appropriate button.
Yes, he wanted to select, but he's a footballer. He didn't know a footballer means athlete. So he didn't see footballer. That's his question. He didn't see footballer. He only saw athlete. Now he knew he's a footballer. So I'm saying that footballer, volleyball player,
So now he knows.
Explain it to him.
Yes, you are all athletes.
Thank you.
You are all athletes. So please select athlete. Okay. All right, Baby Jet. Let's try and finish our quiz. Number 4. So you answered that one. The brace you scored against Stoke City. Now you scored in back-to-back games against Spurs and Chelsea in the Premier League that same season. Which player assisted your goal against Chelsea?
It was Jordan Henderson.
Oh my word! In the 52nd minute, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. It was. How do you even remember that?
Even my first goal I scored in the Premier League, in my first start, it was Jordan.
Wow. Yes, that I remember.
That was my first game in the Premiership.
Yeah, in that volley too.
Yeah,
to
from
be
the
honest,
right cross.
I don't know how you got to the
left.
ball
Yeah,
because it was almost like he was flying to meet the ball.
Yeah. And that game we were one man down.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I remember that game very well.
Yeah.
There's a message here that says, "Please ask Jan, can he remember the year he started football and which team was that, and if possible, the time." That if in a possible time he is looking forward to what how do I apply it? Okay, your message is all over the place, but
Please
I think
come again.
I started at 9.
Exactly. Okay.
Yes.
From primary school.
Yes, I started at 9.
So that's that. So exactly.
1994.
So there you go. So
The same point you're making.
that's the
Start
question.
early.
The point, if you don't start that
early.
early, it's too late. At 13, 14, it's probably too late. You should be discovered way before that. All right, here's another one. You've scored 51 goals for Ghana in 109 games. Do you know which country your 50th goal came against? 50th.
50th.
Yes.
50th was Ethiopia.
There you go. In
That's
Kumasi.
Kumasi, yeah.
Kumasi, yeah.
And then instead of them to celebrate, they were talking about my armband.
I remember that incident. They said you customized the armband.
But let's go.
Like, but you know what's like I can't talk, but you let's go.
I commentated on that game that day. I think that was Germany's debut.
Germany's debut. He scored 2.
Scored a
I
goal.
played with him. May he so rest in peace.
Yeah.
Amen. I remember that game. I
You guys done
commentated on that
really
game.
well on that day.
Yeah. Here's another one. You were named Black Stars captain 11 years ago in 2013. How many games do you think you played for Ghana as captain? Do you remember?
Now I'm some heart cut for him.
That one.
Now I will be hard.
That we
I'll
had.
help you. You
That'll be
played
hard.
31 games
yeah.
Oh,
as
wow.
Black Stars captain.
Wow.
Out of
Let's
the
say 30.
109, 31 of them was played as captain. Okay. Here's another one. Do you remember your first game after being named permanent captain? The first game you captained Ghana for?
Whoa.
That's an interesting one.
I don't remember.
It's getting harder and harder.
This is something I should remember.
Yeah, it's something you should remember. But
I know where
Is that was it at the AFCON?
it was an AFCON qualifier.
AFCON qualifier.
Yes. It was a 2013 AFCON qualifier.
Was it Malawi?
Thank you.
Hey.
Accra Sports Stadium.
It was Malawi. Yes.
Atsu's best game.
Yes. October 13, 2012.
Wow.
That is fantastic. Jan has a memory of a cat. Okay, here's another one. You've scored for the Black Stars in 14 of the 17 years that you played for the national team. In 14 of those 17 years, you've scored a goal in each year. Now the question is, in which year do you think you scored the most goals for Ghana? Of all those 14.
The most goals, I would say.
Which calendar year?
2014.
The one before that.
2013.
Yes, 2013.
Yep.
Because there was the AFCON, then the qualifiers to the World Cup. So that was the year.
Yep.
Can you put a number to it? How many? It was 11 goals in 15 games.
11. Wow. Yeah.
For the national team in a single calendar year.
Yeah. That was when I moved to the UAE.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was exactly. And everybody said, this is a weak league.
Yes.
You can't. And that was when he had his most successful Black Stars career.
Thank
So
you.
sometimes the league really doesn't matter.
Thank
I
you.
remember an article Fifi Anaman wrote for the Telegraph, where he said that moving to the UAE was a plus for Ghana instead.
Yes. Okay, Jan, so the last two, and then I'll let you go. Obviously, I think your team wants to leave. You have another meeting. Here's one. This is an interesting one. You scored on your debut for Ghana against Somalia back in 2003. That much you know.
Yeah.
You came off the bench. That much you know. Do you know who you replaced?
I replaced, is it Nana Hindria?
Perfecto. In the 77th minute.
Boga.
That is ridiculous.
The boy they play the right things for the
His whole life is
So
football.
He was a very sharp student.
You always say yes. The
He's a sharp
football,
guy.
the football where you put the talk say the Kobolo boy in the play. He won't be that.
Bob Marley said, in this great future.
You can't forget the part.
Charlie,
Take your voice out.
Please dry your tears, I say. No woman.
No, but on a serious note,
Boga.
You didn't even know which song that came from.
those singing and we appreciate them. If their voices were like yours, we're not going to listen.
we are to sing like you.
We have
Somebody should sack Muftawu from there.
That's what I'm saying.
we have a meeting with the NSA.
Yeah, you need to go. Okay,
so-
okay.
But friends, there's a final point I wanted Chief to clarify. There was something about who could. There's a caveat in those who could.
Yes. If you're playing for a club, you can't register. Okay, this is meant for non-league. Okay, so this is only for non-league. If you're in the league, you cannot register. You'll be disqualified.
Okay.
The idea is you already have a platform that you are engaged on. People have invested money in you. They're expecting a certain returns from you, and we don't want to interrupt those. So if you are in the league, if you're playing in the league, you can't.
What if I'm a free agent?
Yeah, you can.
If you're a free agent, it's a
I
different
beg
thing.
you one last question. This thing has been worrying me for a very long time. 2015.
Speaking to the microphone.
2015, I was in uni. We were fighting. It almost became physical. This question is on my heart.
Fed off campus there.
You and Afriakwa, who they dance?
This is the question.
No.
Yes.
It's a two-part question. Who is a better dancer? And who was responsible for bringing the formation dance in the Black Stars?
This one?
Me, of course.
No, this one.
Oh, baby! Oh, baby!
By the way, baby, do you have a hat trick for the national team?
Hat trick was nope.
No.
I think
Okay. That is true.
two. Yeah.
Yeah. And those braces, how many of them do you think you scored?
Those braces.
Yes.
Oh,
Like you said, 2, baby. But how many? Can you put a number to it?
I think Korea, Japan.
He even remembers the game.
Turkey, the one we scored 7 at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Yes, that was
Atsu.
Lesotho.
Lesotho.
Or is it Comoros? Lesotho.
Egypt.
Egypt.
Is it 7?
7! 7 it is. He's got 7 braces.
Charlie, end of story.
Listen. We won't do this again.
We'll continue. Go this yeah, one other question. So,
I think that, baby, we would like to thank you for coming.
Yep,
Obviously, this was very entertaining. very informative as well.
Lovely.
The All Regional Games, great initiative. We'll support it. We'll continue to take questions. Alfred and Chief Franklin, they will be listening on their way to their meeting. So if you have another question,
even forward some that we can't respond.
exactly,
to
we'll
them. We have
forward
their
it,
numbers.
and then once they send us responses, we'll tell you. But go to allregionalgames.com to register. That is
That's
your
right.
only official outlet for registration. The actual competition is on November 4, but before that, they're touring the regions and they're scouting for talent, and it's going to be a massive project in the build-up to the whole event itself. It's a great initiative that we at the Multimedia Group are supporting as well, from a legend, one of our own, for Ghana. From him, Ghana has given him a lot. He's giving back, basically, to the country that gave him everything. Chief Franklin, thank you.
Thank you,
for,
sir.
for this great initiative. And Baby Jet, we had the choice, we had the option of finishing that interview and asking more serious questions. We don't want that. We wanted a more enjoyable atmosphere, more enjoyable
Thank you.
environment. Because sometimes the hard things can get. I'm not. If there's time, you come back. We can have an actual interview
Lovely.
and speak about the great thing. Like somebody says, did some Allardyce approve your departure to UAE? And I'm like,
You know, and I have to come in there. One thing sometimes I find it a bit frustrating.
Yes.
You know, when I'm online, you know, I grant interview. I'm here because of All Regional Games,
Yes.
and then you see the headlines talking about the other interviews that I granted.
the other things you spoke about.
Yeah. So I want the journalists or the writers to focus on the All Regional Games.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
That's why
Yeah.
we're here.
And that is why I intentionally didn't take you to other things.
Thank you.
Because certainly that's where the headlines would have been. If I
Thank
ask you anything about Blast Stars right now, before you leave this studio, you
read the story.
So
You have read the
it's very
story.
intentional.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to give him the maximum mileage as possible.
Thank you.
So that we're not distracted.
Thank
And
you.
that's why they're here. We said we would help. We have to set the example.
Thank you.
By controlling the narrative.
Everybody is welcome.
Everybody's
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you. All right, Baby Jet, thank you very much.
Charlie, give me the song.
Thank you, Chief Franklin. Thank you, Ba, for coming.
You will not thank me.
Thank you, Alfred, my friend. Leave here. And we'll be right back.
Baby jet, BK, what do this beat to you?
But yeah, the All Regional Games is a project that we will laud, and we've said it many times in the past that, you know, as Ghanaians sometimes, you know, it's part of our responsibility as a media company to help promote some of these you know, projects and events, and you know, I was glad that he came. And I know some of you probably were looking for some hardcore interview. That's not the purpose of this. And like I explained, we needed to make sure that the focus is all on the reason for which he came here. We benefited a lot from Asamoah Gyan and his performances with the national team. So when it's time to give back, you have to extend a hand and help with whatever project that he's working on. It's our responsibility, really, to help drive that home. So the All Regional Games If you're interested, go to allregionalgames.com to register. Okay, and they have a lot of as many as 9 sporting disciplines that they're working on, and not just football. And you heard them. The opportunities that abound are great if you participate. So I'm glad that we could help. But time now for us to switch and talk about a few other things before we call it an afternoon. Lots of you are still sending in messages. Like I said, on their way to the meeting, they will be listening. So the team will get your messages, and then they will send us responses, and hopefully we can answer those questions. This one says, ask Jan to clarify us on this. We always argue that he's a musician and Castro is the footballer. How true is this? I think I've heard that Castro was a very good footballer.
Yeah.
As well. So I think that answers the question. There's a message here that says, I remember his days in Alajo, specifically Davy Bean's area, with all the squad, asking who is the better player among the Jans, he or his brother. Personally, I know their other brother who actually didn't play is better than himself and Bafo. That's Sakatu from London. Sakatu, that's an interesting one. I'm sure baby will be listening. This one says, ask Jan. This is from Pablo in Montreal, Canada, who says, ask baby if he remembers his encounters with Lord during his cosplaying days. I think we have to bring Jan back here.
No, it's
Lord go tell boys say. Then he respond.
He respond that with Jan.
He
want Jan for
on the whole.
Indeed. Interesting. Bedroom Rodrigo de Paul. He sends this message. Not Pep Guardiola. Not Pep Guardiola. Just say, why you close marking or bedroom?
It be Pep way day Ontario.
Rania go Ontario. He was at La Paz.
La Paz. Then Rodrigo de Paul too very soon. In the America quick if I go guard Messi.
Okay. Interesting. All right, cool. Listen, we'll talk Champions League very shortly, but let me tell you about okay, this one says you should ask Jan if he remembers his long range goal at the AFCON and who assisted that goal. It was not Asamoah. This one, how can anybody forget? Fen, top show. You guys are doing very well. Baby Jet is a living legend. Ask him if there's room for partnership from individuals. Yeah. I think they addressed that.
On the site, you have sponsorship, partnership.
Yes.
Just visit the site.
Go there. Is he grooming players that we can see more replicas of him in the future? I think they answered all those questions. That's from Dale, all the way in Madrid, listening to us. Dale, thank you so much for your message. And there's one here that's what happened to Baby Jet Airlines? Oh, okay. One of the business interests of Asamoah Gyan. I remember that. You keep your messages coming. Listen, Danike, what's the voice I asked for? I can't find it. The voice I asked for, where is it? Find it for me, because that is essential. We need to start and end on a certain note. But there was some crazy football in the UEFA Champions League in midweek, and we'll talk about that shortly. Real Madrid and Man City traded one of the best games on UEFA Champions League night. 3-0 at the Bernabeu. Then Barcelona shocked PSG, beating them 3-2 away from home. And then, obviously, Arsenal and Bayern Munich, controversial end to the game following a very, very eventful 2-2 draw. Then Atletico Madrid with the slight advantage, 2-1 winners over Borussia Dortmund. And then on Thursday, one of the big shocks of midweek football happened when when Liverpool at home were absolutely hammered and destroyed
and pummeled
by Atalanta
and bamboozled.
Let's refer to Atsu Tamakloe for more adjectives.
Atsu, what do you have for us?
Decimated.
Yeah.
They were mashed, bamboozled, destroyed, decimated, trashed, humiliated, annihilated,
crushed.
Brother,
they were cooked.
I think Honestly, that's the best part.
Fentuo, I think that because we are all of us are talking, it has become an encumbrance for
Charlie.
It wasn't even fun. No, Sitso, briefly on that. What was that?
Look, Fent, on a more serious note, I don't think Liverpool gave Atalanta the respect they deserve.
I think so too, yeah.
And when you look at the body language of the Liverpool players, it was almost as if they turned up at Anfield thinking, we are Liverpool. This is Anfield. We will win. Because the energy and the intensity with which they played is not like the clubs Liverpool have become used to. But unfortunately for Jurgen Klopp, there are so many key players in this Liverpool team who are underperforming at this crucial time of the season. So, Cody Gakpo is not firing. Darwin Núñez is not firing. The biggest of all is Mohamed Salah, who is not firing. And there was a time in the season where Curtis Jones was brilliant for Liverpool. And he hasn't been the same player in the last month or so. Now, Konate has missed a couple of games, come back into the team, hasn't looked too sharp. So all of these players who are not performing well come into the Liverpool team. Club has to rest some players. And all of a sudden, they lose that intensity that they've got. But they came up against an Atalanta team who, away from home under Gasperini, can be very dangerous to play. They've got pace, they've got great ability and work ethic. And that is why at Anfield, the Liverpool we've become used to, they didn't show up. And the Atalanta, not many people have paid attention to, cooked Liverpool.
That's interesting. Lots of messages here, also on my personal phone. Amin Shadow sent me a message. He said for him, his favorite Jan goal has to be the one against Algeria.
Malaria.
Not necessarily even because of the good quality of the
Malaria.
goal. He says even the importance of the goal alone.
For
That's
us, malaria.
Makes that goal
I remember
legendary.
my headline very well. Malaria-stricken Jan saves Ghana.
That's a good one.
I remember my headline so well.
This one from Okule says, Michael Okule, he says his top three Jan goals in no particular order: Jan against USA, Jan against England, and Jan against Algeria. I think that's top. That's top pick. As for Danike, I know how he's feeling now after seeing Baby J. That's Okule.
No, my friend, hold on. No.
What's it am I sitting on? Who sat on the chair fresh when he left?
Friends, hold on. No. Do you know that Jan had an app? He used to have an app.
A Baby Jet app.
Yes.
Allah.
And Amin Shadow was the editor of that app.
Yes. Sedu Adamu is asking me to create a show around Blasters players and Ghana Premier League players titles. How much do you know yourself?
Yeah,
and I told him that it's in the works.
Yeah,
it's in the works already.
Brilliant, yeah.
It's in the works already. What you saw was comedy.
Yeah. No, we are just teasing.
We're teasing. It's in the works already.
They are saying the thing on air.
Oh no! Right now, the people on air know that it is our trademark. If somebody goes to steal it, if somebody goes,
actually, someone can go and steal it and tweak it small and make it.
If you tweak it, guys, we'll see. We'll see. See Kofi Haji, my good friend, he says he wants to know how much Jam made from the UAE deal. Boys want to see something. You will see anything. you will see anything. Listen, before we go to UEFA Champions League, Daneke,
Yeah, man.
I'm giving you 5 minutes. Okay? Let's talk about something that has been even in my own heart for the last maybe 3 weeks. Okay? And I will give you the through pass. So let me work on the pass. Let me work on the pass and give it to you.
You're doing step over.
Yes, I'm doing step over.
Me, I'm Haaland. I don't waste
You
time.
finish it.
So
That's right.
Kevin De Bruyne do all the work.
So let me do the work for you.
Charlie, Fent.
He has not done the work.
No, you fire. No, I'm waiting. I'm a very
Listen to
impatient.
me.
Is it a faulty pass?
No, it's not a faulty pass, please. We don't give faulty passes here. We don't give faulty passes here. Okay. I just want to say that the Black Princesses of Ghana, Ghana's national under 20 women's team, has in the past 20 years been the most consistent national team in the entire country when it comes to qualifying for competitions. they have been the most consistent team of all our national teams when it comes to qualifying for competitions. They have made a 7th consecutive appearance at the FIFA World Cup. They've qualified for that. No other national team has ever qualified for the World Cup 7 times in a row. Never in the history of Ghana football. Only one team has done that. That is our U20. It is made up of 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18 and 19-year-olds. In other words, it's a national team made up of teenagers who leave home, the comfort of their parents, some of them with single parents, some of them that is the only avenue with which they can bring something home. Some of them as teenagers are breadwinners because their talent is speaking for them, and that talent has to be rewarded because that talent is being used to the benefit of this country. So each qualifying event, these players are called to come and play for the national team, come and play for your country. They leave home, some of them from Tamale, from Wa, from Chirponi, from Du. They take bus and risk their lives to come to Pram Pram, to come and lie there in mosquito-stricken camp. For days, they are training and sacrificing the comfort of their homes for the national team. And despite all of these challenges, including fighting stigma, because in Ghanaian society, women footballers are still not duly accepted. Not just footballers, women athletes have still not gained full recognition and full acceptance in society. We still see them in a certain way. A lot of people think that a lot of women footballers or a lot of women athletes are something else. Tomboys. So they have to live with that. But in the face of all of this, they still show up every single time to compete for this country. And in the last year, they have done that remarkably by qualifying for the FIFA Under 20 Women's World Cup, which should take place later this year in Colombia. They played 6 matches in the process. In those 6 games, they won every single one of them to qualify. And that's a 7th consecutive qualifying match that they have played. Apart from that, the man that is leading them, Bazige, since he came over, this team has not lost a single match in all competitions. And they have played in World Cup qualifying. They have played in WAFU U20 girls competition, which they won in Kumasi. They played in African Games, which they won in Cape Coast. They are only entitled to $1,000 per game as winning bonus. And I say entitled because the people in power were the ones who told them that if you win one game, we will give you $1,000. They didn't hold anybody's neck and squeeze them and force them to make that promise. Nobody did that. You did. You told them. So the 6 matches in qualifying, you told them you will pay them $6,000. So after the first round, 2 matches, $2,000, you didn't pay. After the second round, 2 matches, you didn't pay. After the third round, 2 matches, you didn't pay. They have qualified. You said, oh, they have another tournament coming up. And that tournament is African Games. Then the woman who is representing women's football at the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association, Madam Gifty Owari, granted an interview to Joy Sports where she said categorically that the girls will be paid before the start of the African Games. Once again, we didn't hold her neck to make that promise. She did it, leaned back in the comfort of her chair at her office. We didn't even drag her here when she granted that interview. So in other words, she had all the conditions perfect and her brain was functioning at a high level.
To tell the truth.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, but just to be fair to her, she said they are
He's
holding the minister to his words.
He's not done.
They're holding the minister to his words. You need to be fair to her.
Muftawu likes interrupting the interruption.
I'm not
You're getting the word pass. Allow, please.
So,
no, the pass. I want to add to the pass.
God.
don't worry, I'll come to you. Okay, so Madam Giftio, you made that promise. You said you're holding the minister to his words. You made the promise. I didn't. No, but Lawrence is slimmer than Ike. And shorter. He has no strength. He can't force Madam Giftio to say anything. Okay? So Lawrence asked her the question. And this is exactly what she said.
FA is an association, and this association sells brands. And we have products that we sell. Our foremost product is Black Stars across the world, not just in Ghana. The male teams had been the one that dominates the love and affection from the countries. So I find it quite worrying when we try to make it look like vis-a-vis the women's team, and then we should see it as something that connects and all that. But I think the challenge really is, are the women getting the due that they deserve? Which I feel for a while as a country, we had not been doing so well. But then when you check, for some time now, they've been getting really their due. The difference is that, yes, we are owing Black Queens, we are owing Satellites, we are owing Princess, and we had, when we spoken to them, myself, the president of GFA, Mr. Ketukwiku, and then the minister in the ministry had spoken, and they had made promises to us that we are going to get these monies for these girls before we go into our next match, which...
All right, that the minister had made them a promise that they would get these monies before the start of the next match. And that next match was the first game of the African Games. They did not get the money. The girls did not get an explanation. Now, they played that first game, second game, third game, went all the way to the final, won it. And they still have not been told anything. The girls went home. In fact, the Muslim girls in there, I can tell you for a fact, you know how the GFA like to post pictures of their Muslim girls and they are celebrating Eid, or they could not celebrate Eid because they could not buy Eid clothes because they don't have money. Now, when they won gold at the African Games, the minister was the one who was there, and they told them that, listen, before the start of the competition, they told them that if you win gold in the African Games, we'll give you $3,000. Then they said, at the time they made the promise, they didn't say anything about team sport. Then when the girls won the competition, they went there to pay per diems, and then they said that as for team sport, we have not decided that we'll give you 3,000 each. So for you, we'll decide on a package and give to you. Now, since that promise, and now they have been able to go to meetings and turn around on their word to the volunteers that they said were misinformed. They want to have a meeting in between and decided at that meeting that for the volunteers, we can pay them 1,000 Ghana cedis per volunteer. Until date, they still have not decided that for the women footballers or for the Black Satellites, this is how much, this is the package we want to give them. The individual gold medalists too, as we speak, don't have their money. So, the girls go home and the girls are crying. I got a very inconvenient call. Yesterday, one of the girls was crying. She couldn't get money to do anything for her parents for Eid, and she is a breadwinner and she's a teenager. She put everything in her life into playing football to make sure she gets selected for the national team. And we are not talking thousands of dollars here. We are talking $1,000 per match. 1,000. They promised, they didn't pay. Africa Games, they won gold, they didn't pay. One of the girls even told me they can't even get money to buy sanitary pads. That is how serious the situation is.
You were lucky she didn't ask you for money.
I haven't finished. And then I asked her, so how have you been surviving? She said last week she called the coach and the coach sent her 80 Ghana cedis. Coach Baziki, who has not also been paid a peswa. The coach himself is unwell. When I called him to confirm the girl's story, the coach said he was in hospital. He needs money.
He's sending Momo from the hospital.
Yes.
But that's what he's been doing all these years.
He himself is not well. And we are keeping this money for what purpose? They keep saying they don't have money. But when the volunteers did small Takashi, you found money for them.
You didn't even add that they said they'll give them 200 cities as transportation. To that 1,200.
1,200 per volunteer. You found the money for them. You still haven't decided how much you will pay the girls. And you still owe them $6,000 per player. Now, do you know that was anointing decay? When we made the noise for them to pay the Black Queens, these people, including Madam Giftowari, and I have great respect for her, but you cannot, after the Zambia second leg match, she went to chief of staff and took 250,000 Ghana cedis. And he said, chief of staff said, you people, you didn't qualify, but you played well. And they came to share that money to the players, the Black Queens players, who didn't qualify, by the way. But she had time to take money from chief of staff to come and give it to them on top of the 4,000 Ghana cedi checks all of them got for all the money they owe them. And they deserve that. But my point is, if you can, go and look for extra money to come and share to the Black Queens.
For a team that did not qualify.
A team that didn't qualify because they played well in Zambia. And you are looking at the Queens, who you are also in charge of. You may not be the management committee chairperson for that, but you represent their interests at the FA. You went to chief of staff, looked at chief of staff's face, and determined that the girls who just got $84,000 checks, or was it 80 something?
Cities.
Sorry, 84,000 CD checks, or was it 87, something like that, and didn't qualify for the Olympic Games, are the ones who deserve an extra 200,000. When the ones that have qualified that you owe, that are teenagers, that need this, you are misplacing priority. And even from that 200 and something thousand from chief of staff, each player got 4,000. Multiply it by 22 players. Let's see. Where's the rest of the money?
Do the calculation. You can calculate that for there. I mean, that one, because chief of staff that invited them.
We are back. So, Daniel, we are back to this. Where we are ready as a country to let teenagers starve. And you know what I picked up? Apparently, the per diems that were paid at the end of the African Games, the management committee chairpersons did not get some, or got something that was not proportional to what the players got. So,
why did they want to?
Why do they want to get?
First question. So now they are very apathetic towards the situation.
What do you mean? Why did they get some? If they are all in camp and they are all working out of their
that's fair. I don't have a problem.
Per diems are due them.
The point is, though, they are very apathetic to the situation because they feel like even with the bonuses, they won't get their share of the money. So they are not fighting enough.
Which can also make sense.
And it will be very selfish and unfortunate.
Why would it be selfish?
Because
it means they don't have any work.
Sitso.
No, it's a serious matter.
Let me answer that question.
It's a serious matter.
Let me answer that question.
If they are not going to be paid, it means they are not working.
You are all missing the point. Sitso is being sarcastic with the question.
Am I? I'm asking you irrelevant. I'm saying that. Listen, you are saying they didn't deserve. You asked why did they want per diem?
What do they do?
Wait, hang on. Now you want the people that you claim they don't do anything, who don't deserve per diem, to go and fight for money that they won't even get for the work that they do on the team. The structure of our national teams are such that they need management. We've composed such that there's a management team. If you are telling us today that they have no value, then block it out. If it is there, then they have to get what is due them. If they won't be paid, then what should they work for? It is the management team's job to go and find that money. If you are saying that they don't have to be paid for the job they are doing, then why are you now saying that they should go and look for the money for the girls?
Friends, I disagree.
Go on.
I don't think you need a management committee. you need to institute such a committee to go and chase monies that you've agreed to pay the ladies.
That's not what I've said.
It's useless.
That's not what I've said.
No.
Fentuo is saying that
I'm only saying
their attitude towards the chasing of the money
I am saying
is from where because they won't get some.
That's
No,
fair.
they feel.
They feel they don't get some.
I am speaking to the logic of they being relevant in the first place.
Oh, that one is a different
If we
matter.
cannot
So that's
establish.
where he is.
No, that one's a different matter. That one's a different matter.
so
but
having-
now that they are there, they have to get what is due them.
Having said
Later
that,
we can talk about not having them.
having said that, having said that, I find it highly irreprehensible. Okay, it is unquestionable. It is unfortunate. It has no. It has no place in our society where, at any given chance, we should have the opportunity to treat teenagers like this who have been called to serve their country. Because of all the people who are responsible for making these monetary decisions, I don't think any of them have served this country better than these girls have. And they are only teenagers. So, the last thing I would say, no matter what the difficulty is, stop lying. You know you have the money. You found it when the Black Stars were going to the AFCON. You found it when the volunteers were making you unpopular. You found it to pay for opening ceremony and closing ceremony, over $5 million. You found it to build stadium. Boteman Complex, 145 million. You found it to invest 34 million into a stadium that was already 70% complete. You found it to spend 60 million in university halls to host Africa Games. Is it 6,000 per player, national team player, that you can, if it were the Black Stars that you owed $6,000, would you have told us you don't have the money? You owed these girls before the AFCON. You found the money to pay the men, to take them to the AFCON, and you didn't find it in it to give them their due. That is wickedness. So, Mr. Sports Minister, Mustafa Yusuf, Deputy, Mr. Bobie Evans, Madam Gifty Owari, Mr. Keto Kreku, get your priorities right. I don't get a CD from this money, but I cannot keep getting the calls I'm getting. It makes me sad. They reach out to me via Twitter DM, phone calls. It is a sad situation. All because you promised them money that you haven't paid. Pay the black princesses their money. Daniel, finish it for me.
I just want to say one thing. I've been on this thing.
You are tired.
Look, me tired. Look, what broke, and I want listeners to listen to this. Listen to this thing. Oh. What broke my heart was last weekend. I received a call, and the person is telling me that she's telling me that look, Ramadan couldn't have come at a much better time. And I said what do you mean by that? And she says they are fasting, so there's no need for her to buy food. Do you understand what it means?
The fasting has become like an excuse for
the
need for. So it's not really the essence of the fasting. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Charlie, they are fasting. So from 6 to 6, she knows that the small that she have, or the one that she doesn't even have in pool, there will be no need to spend it on food, because there's religious backing to it. So she doesn't need to. So I said, but when the 6 o'clock others are breaking their fast, what do you do? And she said, basically, she was speaking to basically, like, the people know her, so when she gets there, like, the cocoa will give her some. Charlie, this somebody who, Charlie, you people are wicked, eh? Like, this thing is beyond wickedness. You are wicked, Papa. And then you go, like, you are managing them. And see, I bet you, the World Cup that is coming, if any glory comes from this, thing annoys me. When glory comes, they are the first. Did you see the black satellite, the podium? The podium takes 4 people. There were 9 people on the podium because they want to be inside the picture.
Yes.
When Abeku Jackson won his medal, who was there with him?
He was forcing himself on the podium. When glory comes, you are the first to go and put your face there.
Yes.
And then you add your voice to it, and the voice to it is nonsense. We don't want to hear it because we know what you are doing. We don't want to hear that part. But then you go and add your voice to it. You are talking loud, and then they add it to their political campaign. That during my time, the team won this, the team won
Yeah,
this,
they'll add it.
the team won this,
And they qualify for this.
but the small thing that you give to these people to survive too. How can you live like this? How can you seriously be in charge of, like, these are teenage girls who,
Yes.
and you understand the state of the sport in this country. You know what it means to be a female footballer. They are not paying them at their clubs. It's literally charity work that they are doing. And when they work hard enough to earn national team qualification, the small that you give them, the Black Stars were paid even before. The money was waiting for them when before they even started flying into the country.
They get call up now where they send them the money.
But these girls will go and do the work and come.
One call up,
So usually, no, it's
true.
true. Usually the Black Stars, when they're going for a tournament, the moment they finish with their final squad,
Bugger.
they give you your appearance fee.
They call you knock back.
Friends, you know, Daniel has spoken about one aspect, the nonchalance and the wickedness.
Yes.
The other part is how people's relationships and their political affiliations have gotten in the way of the work. The Women's League
It has
Board,
become an encumbrance.
the Women's League Board is made up of women with relative clout, right? At least in the sports space. All of them have significant political relationships.
Yes.
We don't want to mention their names.
Yes.
There is a Black Queens Management Committee. There's a Princesses Management Committee. I have said it. I don't think those committees should be there. But if you
I
take,
agree. I fully agree.
if you take the composition of the GFA itself, there are powerful people there who should advocate for women's football. Gifty is an example. And I'm mentioning her name because she typifies what I'm about to explain. Her position makes it impossible for her to do her job. And that is why I'll never agree with this idea that we should put a politician in the administration of our football.
The conflicts of interest.
She is the deputy boss at the NSS.
True.
Card-holding member of the NPP.
True.
How does she go against the grain and call out the sports ministry and her government for doing this?
That's a tricky situation.
She cannot.
It is a tricky situation. At
She
least not
cannot.
publicly.
She can.
At least not publicly.
Friends, even
I'm
behind,
sure. No, I'm sure behind the scenes. Obviously,
Even
behind the
to
scenes,
fight
she
behind
can
the
have
scenes and they go
conver-
hard.
friends, she can have a conversation, but her attitude when
She can't be
she has
confrontational about it.
no,
That's the point.
when she has nothing to lose, she cannot. She will be constrained by this relationship and this mentality that we're all in the same boat and we're all from the same place. Unfortunately for us, even for those who are not like Gifty, for those without an actual portfolio to point to, they still have
Partisan
relationships.
portfolio.
Yes, they still have some relationships with people in government, with people in the party, which makes it impossible for them to even give a radio interview
to highlight this matter.
to even highlight the matter, because look, they are genuinely afraid of what will happen to them if they dare question the sports ministry or governments on how they are treating the ladies. Otherwise, friends, there is no way this thing will happen.
Because all of these people they're old enough to have teenage daughters.
Yes. So there are people who just
And
don't
they
care.
even own clubs.
There are those who, out of wickedness, will not lift a finger to help. And then there are those who, I believe, and those people outnumber the first two categories that I've spoken about. It's just a matter of fear of the consequences that will come if they dare question the sports ministry. Because look, friends, why should we need people to go and ask the sports ministry to pay something, promises that they have made? And here's the thing, look.
And these are not even lofty promises.
Here's the thing. You see, often people don't know the nature of the situation. People don't know who these players are, where they are coming from. They don't know their livelihoods and how they survive.
Bro, the DB girls, they know they play ball.
That's
So
simplifies it.
so they like when you explain it.
So in 30 seconds,
Yeah, Muftawu.
Fentuo. So in 7 consecutive competitions, these under 20 girls have sold this country to the rest of the world. With all due respect to the Ghana Tourism Authority and other agencies responsible for marketing Ghana, who are always giving budgets. You have not given these girls any budget, but they've sold this country to the rest of the world more than all these agencies that you have. You give them budgets to do that. If a single player is due just $6,000, that you cannot make that $6,000 available, then I have a very
We are all
big
not
problem.
serious.
Then we are not serious as a country. If you are serious as a
It's a
country,
shame, eh?
It's a big shame.
it is. Because you are wondering.
Have I been wearing this one all along?
So in the first place,
Like
Fentuo,
from the da.
in the first place, Can you imagine Ghana versus, say, Colombia, Ghana versus Egypt? The match, whether you like it or not, it is on FIFA. Can Ghana
global.
as a country is global? Can Ghana as a country
pay for that
act?
No, we can't.
We can't. So this simple thing, this simple act of doing it for the girls, and we find it very difficult to do it.
That's a brilliant point. So this is what we are going to do here at the multimedia group. If you will not pay the money, we will raise money for the girls.
Simple.
Oh,
so we'll start a fundraiser campaign, a fundraising campaign.
Game plan fundraiser.
Yes, from next week we'll start the fundraising campaign so that public institutions or private individuals can donate to taking care of these girls, because we cannot do this to people who sacrifice for our country. And that is how we wrap up today's edition of Game Plan. Atsu, thank you. Thank you, Sitso. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Muftawu. Thank you to Baby himself. The show was partly brought to you by Petrosaw as well as DSTV. My name is Fentuo, Tahiru. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you go on the Joy News YouTube page. It will be available there as a podcast. You can watch back. Also, it will be available on all podcast platforms. Just search for Game Plan and it will be right there for you. Okay. But also remember that for Joy Prime, we are preparing to dive into a selection of signature cocktails and mocktails, from classic mojitos and sex on the beach to refreshing margaritas and cosmopolitans, to savor our mouth-watering range of sizzling grills from pork to chicken. We've got the beats to keep you grooving all day long. So mark your calendars for the 2-day experience on the 3rd of May, starting at 4 p.m. and the 4th of May, starting at 2 p.m. sharp at the Joy FM car park. Don't miss out on the fun, okay? It's called the Joy Prime Cocktail Experience. All right. If you want to sponsor or to make inquiries, the number is 055-969-1797. We'll see you then. My name is Tahiru Fentuo once again. Thanks a lot for listening, for all your messages. We're back again next Friday.